got Flim and Flam. Whoa, I almost threw my mic
Welcome
across
to
the room.
Tavern Talk,
It is
everybody.
Tavernish Talkish time, my good friend.
We are taverning
Alright.
and talking.
Yes. Well, we come to you
So
on
we're
this
in a
beautiful
different.
Wednesday night for another Tavern Talk. Tavern Talk.
We're in a different position than we were the last time we tried to do this.
Yes, we are. So,
Things have changed.
yes, developments have been made. So, this
Hmm.
Tavern Talk is called Seeing the Future, sort of delving into what our future predictions for this and next campaigns are going to be. Now, starting this off, compared to your insight last night when we tried to do this the first time, and your insight now, what are your thoughts, Mal?
Oh god, I don't even remember what my insight was yesterday. What was I thinking? I mean, some of the things that I was excited about definitely came to pass. Like, I don't know, I feel like last night was like the first instance of Jude, like, really, like, getting her shit together a little bit. um, Trying to actually make strides on the things that she was trying to be better at. Like, interacting with the gods in a better way and, present herself as Grand Mistress in a way that she would be proud of. Like, that she would, in a way that she would want people to regard her as. Um, I definitely think last night's session was like one of the first examples of her being like, okay, maybe I can take this seriously and be good at it. Also, I guess, I don't know. I don't really remember that much about what I was thinking last night. I feel like the general feeling is like, the general feeling is I'm feeling good about the direction that things are going in, you
I
know?
would agree with that. I feel like we still
So,
share the same anxieties, wanting to give a satisfying ending to everything and all. But honestly, if we worry too much about that, I realize that if we get too worried about the satisfying ending part, we'll forget to enjoy it. So I'm glad we.
it's true. It's true. Yeah. I think last night I wasn't thinking about it that much.
Me neither, which
Um,
was good.
and I think that that led to, because last night's session was really good. It was really good. It was like intense when it needed to be intense, and it was like, I don't know, I feel like recently, with like Rafi having the blade and like us being kind of hunted at
Mhm.
every turn, especially while we were in Rubia, it has felt like the world is ending. But coming to Amosa, like coming back to Yumagawa, and in Rubia, I kind of felt like it was Jude and Rafi and their allies, very few as they seemed, against like massive odds. It felt kind of impossible, but to be back in Amosa where, like, things are happening and people are trying and people are organizing, um it feels, I think, in a way that's really satisfying and also really comforting to Jude, that it's like actually not all on her.
No,
And it hasn't ever been all on her, as much as she might have uh inflicted that anxiety on herself.
I would agree with that. Oh my god, my mic is. Ugh. So,
I
uh,
can hear you just fine.
okay, good. So, with all of this, Jesus, I can hear every breath I take. Alright. With all of this, it, as a DM, is hard to sort of see into your minds a lot of the time. I
Mm.
think I can kind of predict what you guys are going to do, and I'm pretty good at it most of the time, like writing things out to plan for your contingencies.
Mm.
But some of the stuff that you guys pulled. I
What,
will
like,
be honest. The reveal last session where Envy spoke with you after the mind link, that was not
oh
planned.
yeah.
That was a
Well, I figured.
complete flub on my part, and I was like, ooh. And I just ran with it.
Well, because the implications there of like, well, like, even if it was a flub, like, the implications, I think um, it like made everything connect in a really satisfying way because not only like did we realize, oh shit, Envy has been here as Nikita the whole time, and so she's been in the room for all of these conversations and all of this planning that we've been having. And so she has already, or Envy has already infiltrated everything.
Yeah.
And the last little piece of privacy in that mind link also was infiltrated. So I
Yeah.
feel like it added like a humus level of stress that was like, oh wow. Like, oh wow, that was worse than we thought it was. So, no, it was kind of awesome, and also it led to that fun edit that you made, which I thought was great.
I appreciate it. Devolving into
And
Sparrow's brain rot.
I mean, when are we not? You know?
Honestly.
So, it was awesome. It was really good. And I was so mad at myself because I was like, at the beginning, when the guards bring Civis in, and we're having our little showdown, whatever. I remember you saying Nikita stands up, and I remember noticing that she was in the room. And for a moment, I was like, maybe I should maybe I should send her away too. And then I just kind of gave up on it. I was like, nah, it's fine, it's Nikita. And then that was like that was a moment of like my intuition picking up on something, and then me just being like, who cares? Should have cared.
You should have. You very much should
I
have.
should have. You know what was an unexpected emotion that I was confronted with
What?
last night? Sympathy for Civis after he died.
Damn. I did not expect
Because
that.
you know damn well that guy has been my fucking one of my number one ops, which is insane because he's just a guy. He's just a dude.
He's just a man.
Like all of these other villains in this campaign, literal sins, like gods, spirits, though all my other ops. And then there's just this fucking guy who does card tricks
Yep.
and talks a lot. Like,
He's just a man, that's all he is.
you know, I just said does card tricks and talks a lot, and then I went, oh, so Civis is literally just a character foil to Jude. And that's why he's an op, because he's like her.
He's
Oh
evil Jude.
no.
He dated Riley.
Oh no. Fuck. I didn't even do that on purpose. I like haven't even thought about that.
You haven't? Because I've been thinking about that a lot. Adrian!
Have you? Hello. We are recording, by the way.
Oh, he's gonna say something to get us demonetized. When have we ever been monetized? Alright, and he's gone. Must have been the wind.
Truly, like, obviously I wasn't there for, like, Jude wasn't there for the conversation that I had with Rafi. And so she doesn't know. But, like...
He's back.
No? Are you staying this time, or are you gonna mog us again? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm here. Don't worry about it.
We are talking about currently the unexpected feeling of sympathy I had for Civis last night.
Oh, you had sympathy?
Well, this was look, like at the end after he died.
Huh.
'Cause like here's the thing. He's just a dude. He's just a guy. He's just a
He's
guy
really
who's
not.
annoying.
He's just a man.
Like No, and so, and you, okay, here's what I said. I was like, we know that Civis has been one of Jude's, like, #1 op. Like, fucking hate this guy. And the whole time, all our interactions, Jude would have been like, yeah, that guy can fucking die for all I care. I don't, whatever, who cares? There's something kind of pathetic about, like, willingly going into chains just because you're afraid and just because you have such a little amount of power to do anything about what's going on. And then you die in a fucking prison cell while you're already fucking helpless and helpless and you can't do anything. And so there was like I think part of the thing that I had about Jude being like I should bury him, that was partially motivated because Jude is like, okay, what can I do to show the people that I can be kind and that I won't, like what can I do even to, I don't know, like what can I do to show the people that I'm like not, I don't want to scare them. I don't want them to be afraid of me. But also there was a feeling of like that wasn't even a fight. Like it wasn't a fight. It was a murder. He wasn't even, I don't know. I'm still unpacking all of
I
these.
think the term you're looking for is pity.
I guess that's what it is. I guess it's more pity than sympathy. Yeah.
I guess I
And
didn't
it's
foresee you saying
diplomatic
that.
sympathy.
Say that again?
I didn't foresee
It's
you saying that.
diplomatic
Oh.
sympathy. Because,
diplomatic
again, you have to
sympathy.
realize that, again, this is Jude's #1 op for God knows how many years. He's done some heinous stuff to
Yeah.
you directly in
Yeah.
your face. And then he comes to you begging for, not really mercy, but refuge
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. And then he just gets murked in your basement.
Yeah.
I think it's more of just there's so much that's gone on that Civis kind of fell into obscurity with the level of things that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And not even like a forgotten plot point, it's more literally like we've got bigger shit to deal with than you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's also kind of tells of Jude's character development and how
I
when
think
we
it's
were just
true.
adventuring, she would have dropped him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But
Oh. Can't hear you anymore.
there we go.
No.
Now that she has to run a whole city, she has to be a queen. She's got to just send him to the dungeon and figure out how to deal with him with the public watching.
Yeah.
I mean, also nobody really knows he was there.
Nope.
It's true.
They
It's
don't.
true. So then I guess it's not a matter of showing the people of Amosa anything about herself. It's a matter of like showing them something to herself. Of like, this has been a source. This guy has been a fucking thorn in my side and he has made himself such a problem. And
Right.
yet he was felled so easily by the exact people that we're trying to destroy.
Interesting.
And so there's like I don't know, we were just kind of mentioning how like the narrative foilness of it all. Of like maybe there's an aspect of like I could have been you if I had gone down the wrong path. So anyway, Pshaw. We can move on from talking about that.
If we are going to, I'm just going to brief you on what tonight's topic is, Adrian. Tonight's topic is called Seeing the Future. And we're just talking about predictions and sort of what we're looking forward to in our next campaigns, our next, sessions to come. And we also might circle back around and ask what were some of the things that you could foresee coming in my campaigns, as well as things that you did not foresee coming. So, starting off, already asked Mel this, what do you foresee happening in the next few sessions? Like, what are you looking forward to or expecting?
I'm looking forward to seeing Jude in more of a leadership role, because now that everybody's pulled up to Amosa to support their cause, like, she can't really, afford to lose,
Yeah.
especially with the title that she holds and the amount of people that's kind of relying on her. We get to see a lot of loss in a grand scale, because usually it's been very focused of, a character dies or two or three, or there's a massacre of a small village, people that we don't really connect to as much. But now that we've brought in all of these characters and they're here to help us, I want to see how, if people survive, which they won't,
Yeah.
how our characters are going to deal with it, how you're going to deal with it as a DM of, yeah, these characters have been with you and you've had so many interactions with them, but you got to keep moving. It's a war. Things happen in war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fallout from this battle is going to suck.
Oh, yes.
In terms of what I foresee, like for this campaign's to end and past that, I don't want to say anything about the campaign's end, because I don't even know what's going to happen.
Oh, me neither.
But I want to having a fresh start, because I've never actually ended a campaign,
Me neither.
which is
Well,
crazy
neither.
to me.
That's not true, actually.
Oh, well, la-di-da. I've never ended a campaign either. This will be my first ever fully completed campaign, start to finish.
I'd love a fresh start, because, I mean, knowing my character for so long, I obviously have an attachment to
Oh,
Rafi.
of course.
It's that meme of, like, he's just like me for real. But it's weird knowing that I have to retire a character of, like, for a good reason,
Yeah.
Yeah.
after being with a character for so long. I kind of feel like I'm losing a friend,
Yeah.
and I'm losing some cool abilities. No.
Like,
gonna be
it
fun to
took
play
so
with a new
long.
kid.
I feel like when you play a character for, like, the same character for 3 years in a row, like, in every iteration of this campaign, obviously we've done Midnight Kings and, like, stuff, like, here and there in between that, like, allows us to, like, move into other things. But, like, Sparrows has always kind of been, like, the it one, like, that's, like, the one. Like, I love Midnight Kings, you guys know that, but, like, Sparrows is always kind of, that's, like, the one. So, like, the idea...
It's what you play the game for, is experiences and campaigns
Yeah.
like Fleeing Sparrows.
It's also, like, the campaign that, like, brought us closer together. I mean, I know you guys were already friends, but, like, I feel the way that Sparrows has, like, allowed
Well,
me
yeah,
to
Fleeing Sparrows has
Oh, yeah.
led to many
incorporate
sleepless
myself.
nights.
Yeah,
With me and
and
Vito
it's
just sitting behind
Just
computer
me
screens, just being
typing.
like,
God, what
but,
are we
like,
gonna
how
do?
does that work?
How do we
Like,
make
how does
this
that
go
work?
good? God.
Vito
Yeah.
hits me with an idea, 5 minutes just of spewing, and I just go, that's not gonna work. He's like, yeah, you're right.
I know. That's how we came up with the next campaign. We were sitting there like, God, I want to run a fantasy setting with Vikings. And he's like, look, you want to do Egypt, Vikings, fucking Zimiel eventually?
Lock
What do
in.
you want to do? And then I went,
Lock
Lock in.
in.
and then he said something about
Wait.
like, oh, we could run out of Yumagawa, like a pre-campaign of like a final project where they're like gathering stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah, it was like, these types of things only happen. Like, the amount of ideas that we spew can only happen. Yeah, there it is. These ideas can only happen if a campaign like this even starts.
Yeah.
Something that goes on for so long. And I think it's also a good lesson in DMing of you can start with a simple idea. Like you can start, all you have to do is start. You don't
Yeah.
need to have a framework laid out.
No.
I mean, all Vito had was really Tao Te and some lore that he wrote,
Yep.
and
Which got
it
majorly
just kept
expanded.
going.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh, you think, Vito?
I'll be honest with you. I always planned for the Muramasa Blades, but it was very surface level planning. At the time I was watching Demon Slayer playing Sekiro, those were my reference points. I made this campaign because I wanted to allow you guys to experience, like the trick doors from Suzume Castle. When I was playing Sekiro, I loved the little trick doors where you'd like stand by them and they'd spin around. And then it built it. It compounded. I wrote Bakunawa into the blade, and I was like, alright, well, moons and stuff. And then it just, everything spiraled for me. But the thing that I want to go back to is the thing Mel said, and you said. Playing characters for so long, and having one specific character that you guys are saying goodbye to. I don't really have that. I haven't played many characters as a player, so normally my thing is play a character for a few sessions or maybe every session, but I'm pretty used to saying goodbye to my characters. I haven't been able to get really attached to one because when I was starting as a DM, and this was one of my biggest flaws, I'd get really attached to one of my NPCs, and then I'd get tunnel vision on them, if you know what I mean. I'd be like, oh, this person's the coolest, and then it's like, where the hell's the party? But saying goodbye to two amazing protagonists, I think about your characters all the time. I hope you know that. Like, I'm watching movies and I'm like, yep, that's a moment. Or like I'll hear a quote on like a TikTok.
Yeah, that's a weird phenomenon, is it? It's just like I'll be in Spotify, just like on my like Spotify DJ, and it'll pull up a song, and I'll be like, wait, that's kind of June coded. Wait, hold on a second.
Wait, why is that coded?
Wait, that's kind of
Wow.
Rafi.
Anytime I hear the like My Way version that's been on TikTok, I'm just like, this is Sparrows.
My way. Yeah. Hold on, I kind of want to pull up my Jude playlist.
Because it's been like this one campaign has started so many different things. Dice making, it started my reintroduction back into D&D. It started Jude's Pinterest brain rot. The Jude Pinterest brain rot. It spawned a lot of stuff just from us playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with just how well it's went.
Exactly.
This is really a 1 in a million.
I think
lightning struck.
I feel like the thing about letting go of these characters is that, like, in a like a, I don't know, serious, right? Like, what is serious? But like, obviously Sparrows is in a serious can't say words right now. In a campaign where you're like taking it seriously, right? Like where everyone's like in and like trying to like really tell a story as opposed to play a game. Of course there's moments for both, and D&D is often like the intersection of both, but like in a campaign like Sparrows, where you play this character so intently and you care so much, and also like she is just like me for real, and Rafi is just like me for real, and like the exploration of one's like inner self or like inner world through D&D, doing that for like years, and then having to be like, okay, like, done, like, that's really frightening.
Oh,
that's a really frightening concept.
It feels like I'm gonna die. I don't know why.
Kind of. Well, that's why I'm so nervous. I'm like, what am I like? how am I gonna feel? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna cry.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if
if I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna cry.
like, like,
Oof.
what's even gonna happen?
Well, here's my predictions. Mel's gonna cry. Adrian's gonna go missing for 3 days after the session. I'm going to retain my drinking problems.
And life goes on.
Life goes on.
But in all seriousness,
It's really weird.
that is. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
In all
I would just
seriousness, that
comment.
is one of my biggest fears. I haven't been able to maintain motivation for a campaign like Sparrows since I've started Sparrows. I've tried to start campaigns for X, Y, or Z, and just nothing has captured my attention so perfectly like Sparrows did. But I also. That is why I fear the end of Sparrows. But I also believe that there's a big reason for that, and the big reason why nothing's captured my attention as much as Sparrows is because of the concepts I run with. Most of the concepts I had been running for campaigns and sessions were either supplementary to Sparrows, no offense Marching Lions, but it was meant to be a test run for Rubia. It was always a test run. Even the second reboot, it was hard to keep motivation there, just because a lot of the plot points were already figured. You know, everything, you kind of knew what was going on, it got samey. Which is why I'm very excited for this next campaign, where we're going to be exploring different regions, different areas. We get to fall in love with new worlds and explore. That's why Rubia was such a breath of fresh air for me. When Sparrows got stale, when Yumigawa was boring, we moved over to Rubia, and then all of a sudden we're introduced to a new world in the same campaign. So that is why our next campaign, the Age of Blossom one, is very exciting, because you guys will be sent to Vulcan territory based on Scandinavian and Norse mythology. You guys are going to be sent to Zemiel, which is, if you've ever seen the Disney animated version of Atlantis, that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fire. Wait, that's a great movie.
Yeah. It's that mixed with a few things of African culture, some, little bits of Persian. I like sprinkle a little bit of Mesopotamian, and then Sensaria, which is fully crypt diving Egypt, sandworms and all that. So.
Oh, the worms! The worms! We're doing worms!
No!
Can I do
Fuck!
it? Can I do it? Vito, I
It's
hope you
not-
know.
It's not
We're
the
not.
format.
I'm not playing
It's not the
unless I
format we
can.
thought Ostentation
Oh
would
my
take. We
God,
didn't think
no.
it
What
would
have
sandworms,
I
but it might
done?
just
If she's not an
sandworms.
NPC, if she's not a most an NPC that we run into as a student, a young Ostentation, I'm not playing that part
Can
of a
she
campaign.
be? You know who I want her to be? You know the bitch from that Atlantis movie, and she's like a cat. Or no, that's not from Atlantis. What movie is that? It's like a pirate movie, and they're like animals.
Treasure Planet.
I think that's exactly what I'm
Wait.
talking about. Hold on, I need to
Is
look
it
it
a
up.
Disney movie?
Hold on. No, I think. No, it completely is Treasure Planet. Yeah.
I love that. I just finished watching that movie yesterday. I love that movie.
I want Ostentation P. Worms to be that cat bitch.
I
In
don't
the
understand the
uniform.
reference, but
Where she's like posh and mean and like kind of really badass.
Don't worry, I'll handle
Ostentation is
Ostentatia.
actually a really serious character.
Yeah, she's like
I
Renee.
have a few ideas how to make her a very serious character, and you're never gonna know until it happens.
No, okay, well, circling back, right? I've never been more serious about a character than Rafi.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for Ostentation to take that same form.
Oh man.
Anyway, all right, let's actually log back in. So I do want to talk about this other campaign, the new one that we're planning. Um, I don't know why. I don't know if this is what I'm getting from it, like the vibe that I feel like I'd enjoy the most, or at least the one that we might end up being. It's a lot more jubilous. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
still these. I mean, the whole era, like the Blossoms age, is very, not lighthearted, but much more joyful, jubilant, grandiose.
Yes.
It feels less like Witcher and more like Avatar, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I was thinking less
Do you mean
from
you
soft,
it's
more
Family
like.
Avatar?
Hmm?
Never mind.
You're good. Sorry.
No, go.
Oh, I was gonna say it's less like Sekiro, more like Ghost of Tsushima. You know, the world is just a little bit prettier around the area.
Yeah, I think it's a prettier campaign.
Yeah. Less grimy, less gruesomeness. You know, honor codes are still followed by the clans.
Yeah. I'm excited too. I'm excited to. I mean, I was talking to Vito about this earlier, but like a lot of sparrows while we were in Rubia, like while it was the two of us, and like there were many parts of it that were so sorrowful, that were so like Rafi and Jude were like so overextended in the things that they were doing, that they were like turning on each other, and that they were like that it was so much happening that it really felt like the goals that we wanted to achieve were like impossible. That it was like, how are we going to do this? Like, how are we actually going to survive this?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to have more of a like, and you could say maybe it's because the world is a little bit more magical, and or the characters that we're playing are younger, a little bit more naive to the world,
Less
right? Like,
traumatized.
there's gonna be a lot more room to like truly enjoy all the traveling and not feel like it's like
You know what it is?
fucking the
I
soul out.
just thought I've been thinking of this freaking quote that I wanted to, like, this really cringy like teen movie type thing of like,
So do
what's
it.
worse than death? Failing a test, right?
It is. It's like a Disney DCOM movie where it's
Yeah.
like this summer
It's like,
school
this
takes
summer,
a different
From the
form.
creators that brought you Fleeing Sparrows.
like it's like, have you ever been to summer school? like shit like that. Yeah,
I
it
love
is
that.
it
Ooh, also, less of a future prediction. Well, somewhat of a future prediction. Adrian, I was talking with Mel, and Skibble's last sentence is not a fluke. Okay? So I wrote it into Aya's sort of notes, but Aya trained very closely with Skibble when she was coming up. The whole thing she would say after every fight would be not too bad for a tin can.
I can't wait to see Skibble again.
Oh, we're gonna see Skibble like in good form too, like
Oh
like
yeah,
new
not busted, not
and like not
like
glitching,
young, hot
young.
Skibble.
unrusted Skibble.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna see a lot of Skibble because Skibble, besides Rohai, Skibble is Aya's only true friend. Everyone else fucking hates her.
Pretty much.
Everyone else hates her.
She's one of those kids that, like, the teachers respect because she's a good kid, but, like, everyone hates her.
She's a teacher's pet kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, right? Well,
So
she's
Bit of a
here's the
teacher's
thing.
pity kind of thing, as bad as it sounds, because she can't cast
Well,
spells.
It's true. So, it's like, hey guys, let's talk about Aya for a second.
Let's do it. Future
Um,
predictions from the past.
She is completely unable to cast magic. Um, but she's like avoid her magic, so it like helps her excel at some things like controlling magic and things like that, but like not using it. And so she has to put in a million times more effort. Actually, even like, and she's still failing all the classes. She literally cannot do it. Like, it's not possible for her. And so she like puts in a million times more effort just to like exist in good standing with the teachers. Um, but they pity her because she's trying really hard, but she can't do it.
Yeah, I
And
get it. It's like
she's so close to her goals to achieving that sorcerer in training kind of rank, but it's like like a hair's breadth away.
Yeah.
it's kind of like where the teachers again pity her because it's like, well, she's trying so hard. It's just that she can't do it. Like it's not possible.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see like it's kind of sucks to see her try so hard for something she literally can't achieve. And then the students around her are like, why is she even here?
Well, yeah, they fucking hate her. They think that
Yeah.
she's like scum, lowborn, nothing who like shouldn't
Yeah, it's
be
like
in a Mosa.
somebody who can actually cast should be in your spot. Why did you get the opportunity?
Yeah.
Like you're a waste of time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why
But talking
that's why
about
Skibble's her only friend, because that's like no one will spend time with her, so she has to go hang out with Skibble. And then eventually she becomes friends with Rohai. And then they become good friends.
friends,
Mean.
Rude! I'm protecting you from bullies, you shrimpy ass bitch. Like,
Damn. Alright. Alright.
Turned to you and
You know,
called you
let's
a
Hey.
rat
sentence you are
fuck.
right now.
how does it feel to know that you just watched the future version of your next character die last session?
Oh my
That's
god.
fine.
Holy
My
shit.
character is scum. And I intend to play him like scum.
Mel was right.
Scummy sparrows.
Well, the thing is, Mel said it to me, I think it was yesterday or something, about I can't wait to see Adrian play Rohai because I want to see how he got corrupted like that.
Yeah, like how he goes
What
from
led him to it? You know?
I kind of experienced that too with Rafi and the Gold Blade when he was just kind of like full sending it.
Yeah.
And then I really mentally, as Adrian hit the brakes, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not how it would go down.
Yeah.
So I think experiencing that a little bit of like, what if he was a little, mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
manipulative
thing.
and whatnot.
There's something exciting about knowing where the characters are going to end up by the time they get to, Sparrow's era. But like, and we meet these characters. We met Aya, we met Rohan, we met all these all the Sins and all these people that are like legendary. But like, and we know how they are now, but we have no idea who they were before. Like, especially the Sins, right? Like, we have no sense of, except for the guy who was like the gluttony guy who was like getting overtaken by it. Like,
The Wrath.
we have no sense of who these people were before the spirit of the Sins
Well, this
Corrupted
is the
them.
It's like
age where
Start Date.
most of them are humans. Okori comes from this time
Yeah,
as
it's like-
well. He's in your class.
It's like starting a book from its ending.
Yeah.
It's like we see where they end up. How did they get there? Whoa, plot point. Also, it's weird working with characters, because I've never done this before. Working with characters that you know are gonna end up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't feel like an entrapment. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like I'm being held in walls. It more feels like I'm working towards a goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally playing an act.
Yeah. And the
Right.
thing that makes
I'm
this
assigned this
interesting
character.
is... Oh, sorry.
No, I'm assigned this character, kind of like I'm an actor in a play, and I'm like, okay, how do I get there? How do I get in the right mindset of this character that already exists? and serve it purpose while also making it fun for me. Anyway, continue though.
I was
in
gonna
in a
say
way,
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
You're good. I was gonna say what makes this interesting is the other two players, Chris and Ellie, are both playing characters that. 1 minute. Keep talking.
What were you gonna say?
What I was gonna say was, in a way that like in the way that like Jude and Rafi started as like characters that we made, that the world eventually like built around, that are like sort of extensions of us in certain ways. That like we built these characters from ourselves. Aya and Rohai already exist, and so it's like instead of like creating this other character, like projects onto ourselves. It's more like we are, at least for me, like my experience playing a character is always very personal. And so like it's going to be a practice of like projecting myself onto this character instead of the other way around. Or I guess maybe I mean it the other way, but like trying to fit into Aya's shoes, you trying to fit into Rohai's shoes of like, okay, where are the things? Like what are the parts of this character that I enjoy? And what are the parts that just come naturally?
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now it's gonna be difficult for me. It's a challenge. It's fun because again, I'm not a player. This is like the only character I've ever really played to the level that I've been playing him. So all the roleplay that I know either comes from DMing or playing Rafi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to switch because I mean I played Sammy Abrams. It was obviously fun. I've been playing the Midnight Kings characters too, but they're not as deep as Rafi. So everything I know is like, well, what would Rafi do? It's Rohai Sukai, man. It's Envy. What would he do?
Yeah.
And I don't know what he'd do. I'm scared.
So what did I miss while I was indisposed?
I was just talking about the difference between like building a character, like building a character like Jude or like Rafi, where like the world is sort of like built around them and based on like where these characters are from and the people they meet and who they care about, versus like having a character that already exists and like trying to step into that and
Yeah.
like finding the connections instead of building the connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely get that. I'm very intrigued to see how this shakes out, honestly, because there's just so many storylines and plot points that could really build out the world and explain a lot of the stuff that's been happening in Yumagawa. And just, I mean, there are so many characters that you get to encounter as young versions of themselves. You know, you get to meet Hikori before he became a warmonger.
It's like flipping through a yearbook and being like, wait, that was you? This is you?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
I do want to throw out one question here. From Sparrows playing specifically Jude or Rafi or DMing and experiencing all these things, what's one thing that's you feel like has changed because you've played this game? The way you approach D&D, the way you build characters, the way you do certain things, or like even new things you picked up, whether it be like, for example, I'll say for me, it changed the way I look at world building again, and also reignited my passion for D&D in general, and also DMing in particular.
Yeah.
I feel like playing Sparrows and having such a fleshed out story that we all love and build ourselves and think about outside the game to the point of our own mental detriment. It's insane how much this game means to me. So it's weird because now all I think about when I think of D&D is this campaign.
Yeah, same. I think it changed my view of D&D entirely, but that's not what I want to say. It's more definitely world building changed for me. I used to think of world building as just, oh, pop a few countries here, do a thing there, just make it cool. Never really got into the bones of everything. And then I started really mashing around the world and the lore and making things make sense. You'll see it breathed into the new lore of the new areas and the old lore of, old Yumagawa. But on top of that, it taught me a lot about trusting my players, to be honest with you. Like, you guys have some busted and broken bullshit that a power gamer would make me shit myself and probably quit DMing for a while if I gave it to them. I would probably never play with them again because I'd be like, man, they just want to make my life miserable. And I think it's encapsulated the way that I trust you and you guys sort of respect the effort I put in what Mel said last night when she was about to stun who she thought was Envy, which was his Shatter Kai. And she was like, but I want to respect you. I'm like, no, this one's good. You're cool. Thank you.
You get a pass this time.
Stun the bitch. But like,
well, it's you put in a lot of effort, and I think it's equally our responsibility to put effort back in. Make it. I don't know. It would just. I'm sure. I mean, I have felt this in other circumstances, like non-D&D circumstances, but it sucks to put so much effort in and then have people kind of way engage and not really go for it.
yeah. The thing, honestly, a good example of that again from last night, the thing I didn't know if you'd engage with, which Adrian clocked immediately when the combat started, was like, oh, fuck, not Skibble. I was like, man, I didn't think they liked this guy that much. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I hope his
In a
death is
bad mood now.
impactful.
He just... Adrian said this last night, I think, but you said something about Skibble, the way that we engaged with him was that it was he wasn't ever a crazy super NPC, right? He was never the one. It was always we would always encounter him in other larger circumstances, but he was always there, and he was just this little capsule of levity, of fun, of silliness, that was still impactful to lose or to worry about losing.
Honestly, can I be honest? It's one of the only NPC deaths where I truly felt like we lost an innocent. We've had tons of innocent people die, often by our hand or in our involvement.
Yeah.
Skibble truly was a wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing. That really hit me for some reason. This silly little robot with a funny tin can voice that Vito plays. It hit me so hard for no reason. Because I just felt wow, this is really the only innocent soul I've ever encountered. And now he's about to get murked because we're in the same place as him for some reason.
Yeah.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Skibble, that death, and it was one of the edits that I almost made. Have you ever heard of Fart Buckle? From that Childish Gambino
You're
clip?
gonna have to explain.
So you've never
No.
heard the Childish Gambino song that people have been putting all over TikTok at one point? It's the one that's
I'm
like,
not on there.
nobody gives a no?
Hmm.
So after this, search it
Vito
up.
chronically online.
Yeah. So a while ago, when Childish Gambino's song, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Lithioma or something. but when it went online, there was a clip that was like, the DM narrating this world-ending threat and the party being downed, and then he narrates the goofy NPC, and it just cuts to them going, "No!" And then
Yeah,
the
now I get it.
NPC
Now I
saves
understand
them,
what you're referencing.
turns around, and it's like, "I save friends. Fart buckle happy." And he dies.
Yes, now I realize what you're referencing.
Yes.
I don't know,
It's
it's
one
just
of those-
just these little things. That's the thing about this campaign too, is that you can call back to things so long ago that we forgot about, and it hit us just as hard.
Yep. Like if you
It could be
notice,
little tiny NPCs or plot points like smoking guns that we never closed. It all just hits you again, and it's like, oh my god, that makes sense, and that's very difficult to do
mm-hmm.
for DMs and to enjoy in general from as a player. For things to
think
catch up and be like,
it's
wait,
just-
that does make sense.
like the fact that when Nikita was Envy, when Skibble says something, just reverts to Rohai and just goes, "I think you're a little busted, Tin Can." You can look it up. Look at the session. He called him a tin can.
God, this sucks,
Layers.
dude. This sucks.
Layers.
The fact that, like, not only does Skibble speak directly to Envy, even in disguise, but Envy also, even in disguise, speaks directly to Skibble as himself. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Some things you can't shake off your humanity.
Oh my god.
Dude, that moment too, that whole like Nikita mission was kind of nuts. I feel like we haven't talked about that enough of us like Rafi and Jude doing their thing. It's so cool how much our characters can change but also stay the same.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, these one of the craziest hitmen and kings of a foreign land walking, and just so many different powers, and then the Spirit Queen and the Goodness of Mimosa, and they're just there doing their thing as adventurers so many years ago, doing
Mm-hmm.
these little investigations, and it's so cool how quickly we can revert back to our roots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Just that whole scene of like Jude and Rafi walking next to each other and behind Nikita and just like brainstorming in a mind link. So cool. So cool. And just that moment of like, oh, like something's not adding up now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know. It makes me, I feel like there was an edit at some point that I sent that I was like, I'm gonna make this, which was insane because I don't have, it wasn't an edit, it was a animatic. And I was like, I'm gonna try and make this. Insane. And it was something about, something an artist had made for, I think it was commissioned, or it was for their own D&D group, and the format of the animatic was that it was like feet walking, and it would be like one character's, and it's just like a shot of their like knees down and they're walking, and then it would switch to another character and they're in different outfits, obviously because they're different characters, and then it like cuts to different shots of them. But what I imagine is like different shots of like Rafi and Jude at like different points throughout Sparrows. Like event, maybe the first shot is like them walking or whatever, and the final shot is them like walking next to each other in all these different iterations of themselves. Like doing the same thing. Like, more and more scarred and more like wary. But it's still them. Like they're still together. And like that's like the important thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool point to harp on of like after all this time, they're still Rafi and Jude. maybe more scars and less body parts, but
Yeah.
there's still them. There's still those funny little almost adults sitting around in a tavern in Kawa. Or which village was that? Is
It was
that Kawa?
Kawa
I think it
that
was
you guys
Kawa.
started in.
That reminds me a little bit of that like last interaction they had last night in last night's session. Like before battle, when we were like chatting before Jude's like
Oh, and the little alcove thing.
I rewatched that.
That reminds me a little bit about that. Cause like it was interesting. I know it's funny because the theme of this episode is the future, and we're just talking about the past.
It's
But
fine.
It builds the
um,
future.
it reminds me a little bit because like one of the key points of that interaction was like, we were so different, but we're still here, and Rafi was like, whatever ends up happening, I'll be there, and it drew me back to that conversation in the boat where Jude was all at the same time hurt and defensive, but also afraid that this conversation means that Rafi is going to leave and that they're going to stop. And like the weird conflicting feelings of like, he deserves to, right? Like he deserves to be able to go and leave and like have peace in his life and be there with his family. But also the fear of like, what am I going to do? Like,
You know what? That's a crazy juxtaposition.
of
Those
of,
two
of,
scenes.
of that in the boat, and then from last night, Jude being like, "Look, like I really think it to me that was like supposed to be like a marker of growth for her to be able to say it actually is okay, because it has been okay the whole time in theory, right? But the emotions of it didn't always line up. It is a crazy juxtaposition, yeah. Like,
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, wait. That's kind of cool of just like imagine just the heat of the moment argument in that boat of just them going neck and neck.
mhm,
Just the craziest sentences flying at each other. They just
mhm.
hard cut to them in the alcove. Like there's so much growth there,
Yeah,
and there's so much being said with so few words.
yeah,
Like just them being there in general, just sitting in that alcove together. Like their lives have been together this whole time. They've been together the whole time. And
like,
so
yeah,
much has changed and they've become such different people from each other.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're just talking. They're friends.
They're buddies.
Family right there. They're buddies. They might be buddies.
They
No.
could be buddies. That was like a thing of me, because like during Jude's speech, calling Rafi her brother, like to me, like, because there's been so much discussion of that word of like brotherhood and like family and sibling relationships, and like, you know, neither Rafi nor Jude, besides Tala, have and Slick have like, like they have lost so much in that vein, but to be able to like come together and like be that for each other, I think is like really impactful.
There we go. It's neat how they turned out in terms of family. Right? Because Jude had, her little brother and had her mom and dad. And then Rafi came from such a big family. And then all these different events started happening. People started going one by one.
Mhm.
It's crazy how a family can just form from that,
Yeah. The more
like the
like the
whole
more people
time.
you lose, the closer they become.
Yeah, because again, I mean, the common factor of all of this is that they were together during all these events. So It's bound to happen. But it's a weird dance. Like it's kind of bound to happen, but there's a 1 in a million chance for us to get it right.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have turned out any better.
Yeah, their evolution. It's like, it's crazy to me because I'm like trying to like think back. It doesn't feel like it's been like what, 3 years, 2 years? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. I try to like recall, like it doesn't feel like time has been spent. Does that make sense? I don't know. I like, it's hard for me to imagine playing this for 3 years. I guess it's just that it feels like it's gone by really quickly.
I think so. You're right.
In terms of sparrows specifically, like the first, we literally, I'm pretty sure we have the first session. Like, hold on,
I think we do.
let me go and confirm that. Because I feel like I remember, like, the very first session, like, including people who are no longer in. Hold on.
We've got a little bit of a problem here.
No!
Millie seems
No!
to have.
Sorry?
I'm still here. I got to turn off my camera.
Okay. Let's see. We're going. I'm gonna go all the way back.
I'm gonna open the secret lost files.
Okay, so never mind. I thought we had it, but I think we did.
I think that when we started recording, you know what? I think we started
Oh, wait.
recording around Amosa.
No, wait. No, wait. We actually do have it. Oh, wait. That's only
No
3
way.
minutes. Hold on. Why is that one 3 minutes? Wait, that's so weird. Okay, so we have a 3-minute clip of the very first.
Wait, we do? Can you screen
wait.
share?
No. This is, I guess, was probably Vito's, like, test run with his original, like, group. Let me see. What is this? What are you?
The stream.
Okay, this is from December 2023. But we started in summertime, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think we didn't record those sessions. Because I remember telling him to record.
I remember having something to that effect as well. But I don't know where. Okay, see, because this could be misleading because it's definitely. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait.
Do we have it?
No. Well, hold on. I'm so confused because this looks like it's in the. This looks like it takes place in the summer. But obviously it was uploaded later, so I actually have no way of knowing when it's from. This is summertime. I do think this is when we first started. But I don't think it's the first episode. There's one that's called 5. Hold on. First of all, look at how fucking.
No, I know exactly what this is.
What is this?
I know that building. I fought Echo in that building.
Oh, so I think this is the session after that. Because this is the beginning. Oh no. Oh no! No, this is that session. Is it? 'Cause
This
we
has to be
don't-
it.
Did we ever see the inside of that building?
Just hit play real quick.
Hold on, I don't have my headphones, so it's gonna echo. Hold on. Do you want me to?
Yeah, unmute it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself on Discord then.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. We're fighting the Karai right now.
That's
Yes,
so.
I remember this. I remember this.
Yeah.
Because Slick stepped on a landmine
Oh shit.
and he was gonna die. Because Vito watched Kingsman that like earlier. And he wanted to do a Kingsman thing. Yes, yes, this is it. I know this.
This is, I think, the next session afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. Dude, this is crazy. Look at the light. Look at the light outside and the light in the windows, and then
Yeah.
and then I guess. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself. See what we're doing. Let's check in. Let's check in and see what we're doing.
This is crazy. Sorry. Do you hear audio?
I think this might have been. Hold on, give me a sec to skip around.
Yeah, it's because Vito.
It's because the audio
Fucking-
is set up wrong. Yeah, because
Yes.
we can only hear him and nothing else.
Oh god.
So that, I mean, let's see, 8.
What is this? Look at you taking notes. It's Totomeki. This is wild.
When I fucking gave up on on taking notes. This is crazy.
Oh my god.
This is an Amosa, I think.
This is Samosa. This is first time in Amosa. Because that training ground. This Kitsune sword. Oh, if only we knew.
Hold on. I have to figure out what that means. I don't know. I can't find it. I had it for a moment, but I can't find that little section. I don't know what I was like when. Dude, this is crazy. Cause this is the first. I think this is this. I can't remember if this was the first or the second summer that we played. I think it was the first.
Scroll down. You should see an upload date
Well, so here's the thing: is
1
that
year ago.
these were uploaded much after the fact.
Right.
Because I think they were just on Vito's computer. Hold on, I'm gonna do some more scrubbing.
Real.
What
Oh,
have I
Vito's
missed?
back. We have been freaking out
About?
watching old
Or are we
watching old sessions.
Hold on.
I was just scrubbing. I'm just scrubbing through some.
Hold on, let me get this going then. Wait, how am I not able to watch your live? Hold on. Alright, let's do this. For realsies. Oh my god, these are old. That is my janky ass door.
Is feeling whether or not that's what he's giving off. I think she just feels that because she's like, okay, this is a member of my family. And like, in the most respectful way possible, she's gonna give him a
And feel wet. He is crying with happiness. You did.
I'm like, oh sorry, I didn't realize it was probably coming through my mic. I thought I was muted.
It's fine. 233. Is that what you're looking for? The Kitsune sword?
Oh, did you? Okay, hold on.
Why do you wish to know?
Can I roll insight to see if it's smart to just be flat out honest?
Yeah, roll insight.
10.
Don't matter either way.
Hey, it don't matter.
Forget about it.
It seems that was chosen to be a star fallen blade or a fallen star metal blade warrior.
The chosen of Hikari.
Jesus Christ, it's
He
been
does
that
choose your
long.
kind a lot. You do seem to have a void energy. And the lack of organic spirit. Interesting. Another one.
What is void energy?
Void energy. Well, there is no void energy. There is just lack of energy. Quality. Yet, sometimes beings are incomplete.
You
Not
are
given a proper
furiously
soul
taking notes.
upon departure. Sort of a spirit inhabiting a body, but not truly.
The thing is, I don't know where that notebook is. I think it's in one of my... Wait, hold on. Maybe I do know where it is. Let me see if I'm right. And if it's not in there,
Please go find it.
it's in one of my... Ooh! Hold on. Oh, there are notebooks in here, but not the notebook. Oh, wait, I see it. Found it.
No way.
Fucking knew it. Okay. This is her. One of the best notebooks I've ever had in my life. Oh, okay, here we go. This is the one page of notes I took from our first session of Fleeing Sparrows.
Wait, hold on. Pull it up again. I want to see if I can, or just read it out.
It says Fleeing Sparrow Session 1 has all these like little doodles and stuff on it. I wrote down Kawa Village. That's what
Oh
that's where
my gosh.
I wrote down what I was doing, which was like the palm reading and what my goal was. Which I wrote, she's just here to make money and survive. And then I wrote,
Yeah, or
and I
look
wrote
how far that went.
And then I wrote players. Jude, me. Raphael, Adrian. Alcoy, Alex. And hear me out. Ray, Elizabeth.
Oh
And
my god, no, stop. Stop.
You wanna know the only other word I have written on here?
Konkiro. Holy shit.
No.
This is literally like opening up a time capsule.
Oh, this is actually this session, I think. Yes! This is, okay, the notes that I just found. So this must be a pretty soon after we just started kind of session. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Because this session is the notes that I have. So, because it has the books that I'm looking for. Oh yeah, no, this is after this. This is a jump because this session is after Karai. So this is probably session like 7, 8, maybe.
Probably.
What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, this is where we realize. Oh, I have notes about Rohai, but not that Rohai is envy. But I have notes that Hokuri is pride. Oh, here we go. I wrote, Alkoi is a chosen of Hikari with 2 exclamation points. The sword of Ayatanaka has been found! Exclamation point. The alchemist, who we figure out, I guess, was Envy, I think, right? Dancing Spirit.
Yes.
Oh. And then I have a little moment of dialogue that I wanted to write down. Lefty showing off his epic green blade. It's got fish and is also purple. Jude, it looks beautiful. Lefty, you look beautiful. Jude,
Yo.
that's like this is the face
Not so secretly delighted.
Oh, stamina points. Oh yeah, cause notes on the Lefty Jude love confession. Wow. Father Red Eye.
Oh wait, that is crazy. Hold on a second. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Who the hell was Father Red Eye?
Lefty letters.
Sloth?
He was like I think so. Lefty letters.
Like that was when we all woke up in a Mimosa after that crazy dream, right?
Yeah. Okay, here's the problem. I fear I have to go.
Aw.
I told Vito at the beginning that I have to leave at 11:30.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
What did I
But-
miss?
I found some session notes from like early sessions and stuff.
Oh boy.
So we were just looking at them.
My God.
Pretty
But
crazy.
I fear it's my time to go.
Bye bye.
It's alright.
I love you guys. I hope you guys keep chatting and having fun, and I'll talk to you guys later.
I will
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
Peace out. Bye.
Alright. You missed a good amount,
I
but
did.
it was just us kind of goofing off over some old stuff. Remember Father Red Eye?
I do.
Insane.
Thank you.
How long it's been. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a good one.
I know that was a long old time ago right there. It's
crazy how some concepts just don't, like, you just take something and then you revive it with a different, flavor, and it works so well.
yeah. I always intended Father Red Eye to be Sloth. Like that was always my intent.
Yeah.
And it's just, my God. There's so many concepts that have been lost in the shuffle. And so many future concepts that you'll see come to full fruition. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but I tried to set up a group of assassins called the Four Crows. We haven't
I
heard
remember
from
the
them
Four
in
Crows.
fucking forever.
Yeah, they probably fucking died somewhere.
Dead in a ditch. Or they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, maybe they're just doing their own thing.
Yep.
Some people don't want to keep up with the world.
Mm-hmm. If you remember, again, when you guys were supposed to be samurai hunters, there were people like
Yeah.
Atsuyu Takeda, Hikoshi Benki. There were plans for more NPCs. People who I have just in name now, but God, there are so many things. The other thing that I think you'll be interested to hear is I have both of your first words written down from your first session.
What were my first words?
So Mel's was I'm. Yours was what? So it's going to be interesting to see everything come full circle and see what your last words are going to be, and then put those into a 2-word phrase and see if they make any sense. Because I know Avatar, if you watch Avatar The Last Airbender, the first word and the last word said in the series are "it's," and then the last one is "perfect." So it just comes full circle. Which I was very intentional in saying "great" for my first word in the campaign. But I haven't figured out what the last word is going to be.
That's something to workshop, huh?
I know. Something to think about. So it's just... Honestly, I gotta see what Alcoy's last word was.
You know what I was thinking too? We were going over our Mel's notes. How she wrote down everyone's characters and their names of Jude, Mel, Rafi, Adrian, Alcoy, Alex, and Ray.
Yeah.
Long time ago, huh?
When we had 4 people.
Back when I really didn't think much of this.
God, it wasn't until Emosa that it really clicked.
Mofsa was that turning. I mean, that plot-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah. But at that point, it was like every one of my other campaigns that I've had since, where it's like, oh, it's just me doing plot points that I like and testing out mechanics that sound cool. But Emosa was when everything, the switch flipped. Honestly, if I can boil all of the success down to a single moment, or at least what sparked it, the first run of Emosa. Every campaign needs one of those moments where it clicks in for everyone. You need that, otherwise the campaign will fizzle.
Moso truly was that moment where everyone realized just how deep this rabbit hole goes and how eager we are to jump in.
Yeah.
And soon we're gonna fall. We've been falling this whole time, and we're gonna reach the other side of this hole and see what happens. See the light soon.
Yeah. To be honest with you, and this is the exciting part, I learned how to make different screens on Twitch. So the ending of next session is going to be, I wouldn't say cathartic, but cinematic. So
I can't wait.
it's so good. Like,
I do want to close off our
I
talk
was gonna
soon,
say.
so finish your thought, and I'm gonna end with something.
Alright, so finishing my thoughts. It's been a long road. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming up. There's a lot of stuff that makes sparrows for me, and I'm just looking forward to being able to close this book with a satisfying ending. I'm glad it wasn't rushed, hopefully. At least it doesn't feel rushed to me. And here we go. All yours.
Earlier this week, I was seriously doubting my commitment towards this campaign. I was considering quitting and just ending it because I didn't feel like the way I was playing was true to the way I wanted things to go. Then I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and I realized that's exactly what makes Fleeing Sparrows such a pinnacle peak of campaigns and Dungeons and Dragons in general. Because all of the decisions I had made up to that point, all the decisions that my friends have made, you, Mel, Alex, Elizabeth, way back then, have led up to this moment of me in this particular situation with Rafi of where do I go from here? Because I don't know what's going on, and I seriously doubt that the way I'm playing is the way I want to play. Then, of course, I sat down with those thoughts and I realized that's the whole spirit of the game. That's how you know exactly how good this campaign is, because you made a decision. I made a decision that I wasn't happy with, and I realized just how much that affected me personally and how that affected my view on the story, that I wanted to make things right. Because that's just how committed I am to this campaign. This campaign has meant more than anything I've ever played in this game, any game, pretty much, even outside of D&D. I don't think I've ever seen or witnessed a better story written, a better story played, better characters, better moments, better relationships built, better anything that's come out of this campaign. I've never seen its equal. And now that we're getting into the final sessions, is it bittersweet? Yeah. But I don't think you're ever going to see something like this ever again. And I'm happy to be a part of it. And I'm happy that for all these years that I've been able to sit down behind a computer screen and just drop into a portal into a world that's so unbelievable. And I think that's the one word I think I'd describe this campaign as: unbelievable. And these next sessions are going to be unbelievable too. So that's all the time we've had. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you.
Peace.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Peace.